No surprise here, but a fascist Christian running on the Republican ticket for governor of Michigan. This bastard's name is Ryan Kelly. And he was part of the riot that tried to overthrow the government of the United States back on January 6, 2021. He was arrested at his home in Allendale, Michigan this morning, according to the FBI. Ryan Kelly, a Nazi fuck, is the first person running for election in a major state or a federal race to be charged in connection with the attack on our country. Now, here's the part that upsets me. This son of a bitch has been charged with a misdemeanor. A misdemeanor. Well, 4 misdemeanors, but they're all misdemeanors. He, according to the criminal complaint, this Nazi shithead was charged with committing violence against a person or property on restricted grounds, damaging federal property, disorderly conduct, and entering a restricted building or grounds without permission. And all 4 charges are misdemeanors. Why? Why are they misdemeanors? Why not take somebody like this piece of human waste and charge him with an attempt to overthrow the government of the United States, which is what he was trying to do? Now, we can't charge him with treason because we're not at war. That's the only time you can charge somebody with treason. But insurrection, a conspiracy to deny the people of the United States the representation in Congress that they chose. See, I'm certainly against the death penalty, except in certain instances. This could be one, but when people are charged with these kinds of crimes against the United States, I say give them all of their constitutional rights and protections, put them on trial before a jury of their peers. If they are found guilty, lock these fuckers up for 20 or 30 years because you know they're going to do it again. They don't respect the laws of the United States, not at all, or they wouldn't have done this. If this rat bastard wanted to change the outcome of a presidential election, you don't do it after the fact. You do it before the fact, before it's an outcome, and you go to work for the person you want to be elected. That's how the system is supposed to work, not sit back on your fat Nazi ass and wait till the election is over and then start screaming fraud and false election and try to overthrow the government. 4 misdemeanors? Jesus Christ. An FBI agent in a filing to the court about this Nazi fuck described his actions, saying at one point, Mr. Kelly appeared to use his phone, quote, to film the crowd assault and pushing past U.S. Capitol Police officers. The filing also said that Mr. Kelly used, quote, his hands to support another rioter who was pulling down a metal barricade, and that he gestured, quote, to the crowd, consistently indicating that the crowd should continue moving toward the entrance of the Capitol. Kelly was able to be identified in part because of what he wore on January 6th, which was similar. This dumb son of a bitch wore something that was similar to the outfit he wore at a rally in Lansing, Michigan in May of 2020. And it was something called the American Patriot Council Judgment Day Rally in Lansing, the capital of Michigan. What was this, you Nazi fuck? Is this when you were threatening to assassinate the governor of Michigan because she issued a mask mandate? Oh, I have no mercy on these son of a bitches. I really do not. I mean, I am willing to stand aside while all aspects of constitutional protections of freedom of speech are granted to these miserable bastards. But in the course of a trial, if they are found guilty of a misdemeanor, what is that? $1,000 fine and or a year in jail? For this? So, according to the New York Times, they tried to reach this half-wit at his campaign headquarters, and it wasn't successful. The mailbox for the phone number listed for this jack-off's campaign was full, and no more messages could be left. And then a man who answered the telephone, listed for the campaign treasurer, said, "No comment, thank you," when reached by a reporter. You cowardly goddamn Nazis. Jesus Christ, I hate these people. Now, his arrest, this filthy bastard's arrest comes, when is the Republican primary? Is August 2nd in Michigan. And this scummy son of a bitch is competing with 4 other candidates. I don't know how many are Republican, how many are fascist Christian. I do know about this prick. There are 5 of them trying to win the chance to face Governor Gretchen Whitmer, the Democrat, who is the current governor, in the general election this fall. Now, this rat bastard, this Kelly thug, is a real estate punk salesman in a suburb of Grand Rapids, figures. And he was the lead organizer of an armed protest against pandemic measures at the Michigan State House in April 2020. And in June of that year, he called together about 50 militiamen, cowardly little dickless assholes, to square off against a few dozen Black Lives Matter protesters over a statue of a Confederate soldier in his town. Well, you dumb fuck, don't you understand, Kelly, you jerk off, that Michigan was on the side of the Union? Oh! And then after the 2020 presidential election, this jackoff and some of his dickless militia member buddies showed up for a rowdy protest outside a ballot counting center in the state. But he's only been charged with 4 misdemeanors. This guy needs to be restrained. Oh, but Mike, what about freedom of speech? Hey, listen, freedom of speech does not mean you can say any fucking thing you want to say. You want to overthrow the government. You want to kill Gretchen Whitmer. You want to do this. You want to do that. Shut your goddamn trap, you little Nazis. Well, the confrontation is coming, isn't it? Yeah. And then we have another group of Nazis that go under the misnamed, well, part of it is correct, Proud Boys. They're boys, all right. They are little boys who run around trying to act like men. Proud Boys. So the former top leader of the Proud Boys and 4 other members of this filthy organization were charged with seditious conspiracy. This happened, what, this week or the end of last week? I think it's the end of last week. Seditious conspiracy for what federal prosecutors say was a coordinated attack on the U.S. Capitol to stop Congress from certifying Joe Biden's electoral victory. Now, seditious conspiracy is not a misdemeanor charge. And the jack-off that they're talking about here is Henry Tarrio, the former Proud Pricks chairman, and 4 of his bully boys linked to the group. Now, the indictment came, today's Thursday, I guess it came Monday. The indictment comes as the U.S. House Committee investigating the riot caused by these filthy scum is going to begin their public hearings tonight. We are probably listening to it right now. So the indictment against Enrique Tarrio and these other 4 jack-offs, says that they conspired to forcibly oppose the lawful transfer of presidential power. Now, Enrique and the other 4 are Ethan Nordine, Joseph Biggs, Zachary Rell, and Dominic Pizzola. All of them, all 5 of them, were previously charged with different conspiracy counts. Oh, find these fuckers guilty and put them away forever. They're scheduled to stand trial now in August in D.C. federal court. And the report here from the AP says that these seditious conspiracy charges are among the most serious filed so far. But they're not the first of seditious conspiracy to be charged against some of these pricks. 11 members or associates of another group, the poorly named Oath Keepers militia group, another group of pissants who run around thinking that they're men and they are not, including the founder and leader of that group of jackoffs. His name is Stuart Rhodes. These people were indicted in January on seditious conspiracy charges in what at the time was seen as the Justice Department's serious escalation of charges against these bastards in this investigation. Now, the 3 of these Oath Keeper cowardly little pricks have already pled guilty to the charge that calls for up to 20 years in prison. Oh, really? The indictment against the Oath Keepers alleges that they and their associates prepared in the weeks leading up to January 6th as if they were going to war, discussing things like weapons and training. I can just see these jackoffs sitting around somebody's basement swilling down beer. Well, we better learn how to run a patrol. Well, you know, that kind of bullshit talk that I used to do when I was in fucking high school. Not about overthrowing the government, but I just mean bullshit talk, little boy talk, teenage boy bullshit. Man. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcast. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.